Well, you know, they can't all be masterpieces, I suppose.
Yeah, sorry we're so late, guys. We were trying to figure out if there was a highlight in there somewhere.
Betway wants to do the highlight of the night. I say, Cami, we need a highlight. And she says, there isn't one. We poured over the tape. We've been looking for a long time. So sorry,
The
Betway.
tape, we're splicing it. We're splicing the highlight together.
Yeah. I just texted you in the third period when it was clear this is the kind of show we were going to be doing. Just a one word. That word?
Goosh.
Goosh. Yeah. Yeah. That's a goosh for if you're unfamiliar or you're not sure. Also, and Jack mentioned this before we got started, and we were going to explain. We were going to tell Cami what it means. But I said, we'll just wait until we get onto the show. Welcome to Afterburner. The Flames fall by a score of 6-3, which is a goosh. If you were wondering, that would be a hard fail, just something misery in some way, shape, or form. But it's also, what did you say, Jack? That was a barn painting. Is that what you said?
Yep, that was it. A barn painting.
Yeah, that was a real barn painting. And Cami says, "Well, I grew up. I feel like
I was literally raised in a barn. Why do I not know this phrase?
I'm born in a barn. I thought was this. Are you born in a barn? Do you leave the doors open? Is that how that goes? Anyway,
close.
They say there is a saying. Yeah, there's a night like this. There are nights where things are really impressive, and you paint a masterpiece. And then there are other nights when it's not as pretty, and you paint the barn. Tonight was a barn painting, except usually that'll come in a victory. That some nice victories, they look great, and you were the best team on the ice, and just tic-tac-toe, lots of that. And other nights it's not as great, but you still get the win. So I guess, Jack, it's not really a barn painting. This is just a messing of the bed, because you need to win for it to be a barn painting.
This is when like your toddler nephew draws you a picture and they're like, it's you, and it looks atrocious, and you're like, thanks.
This is
that was the kind of artwork we were dealing with tonight.
This is what's his name from The Office, when he's carrying the big pot of chili and then dumps it all over the floor. That's essentially what tonight was. Now, that's maybe disrespectful to the Sharks, because we had talked on the other show. 5-4-2, I think, was their latest stretch of games. They'd lost 12 straight and then have been, in their last 11 games, 5-4-2, whatever that math ends up being. It's kind of their best run of the year. Now, still the San Jose Sharks. And
yeah, like there's two ways you can phrase it. Like, one, put it simply, that game was ass. To expand upon that like a little more, it's frustrating, because if you keep playing to the level of your competition, you're not going to go much of anywhere. And yeah, sometimes your opponent will play better. Sometimes your team is due for an off night, but it comes at such a disappointing time against a team that is so much lesser on paper, when you have so much to play for and a key opportunity to move up. So it's not like it's a condemning loss, but it's one where everybody needs to do a little bit of self-reflection when they head home tonight. Yeah, I think that's why it's exasperating for fans.
I guess so. It's something for everyone. If you are looking for Craig Conroy to be a big time seller, then you're like, you don't need any more. This is why you need to sell. Yeah, I don't know what the math is. Somebody tell you the 5 points. It's whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. This is why you sell. Then I see stuff like this. Pinder's not working tonight. Can't work the show, but he's watching. It makes me want to bite him right in the cheek. Go and do something. Like, I'm sitting here, I have to do Afterburner tonight after a 6-3 loss to the Sharks, and you're still in the comments. Go do something.
Hey, like, you get to do Afterburner. You get to.
Right. Sorry, Cami. It's truth. Turns out it was Pont Night. Jack has the spelling of my dog. My dog Bear has the same level of spelling of our pal Jack. Now, is it just how would you describe it, Jack? Are you a bad speller? Do you just not recognize it when you see it? Is it spelt right? And then is it like when you're putting it through the keyboard, when you're transcribing it, or
CTE?
CTE, yeah, gotcha. Because on our Betway bets, I had what did I have? Oh, a 1+ point for Mackenzie Weegar, which I don't think happened tonight. Although he did have a great assist was it the first goal or the second goal for San Jose? Put it right on the tape. Anyway, Jack put on the board this morning that it was a 1+ punt for Mackenzie Weegar. Now, again, I know there's a lot of letters in the word point, but he missed one of them. So it was Pont, Jack, who needs to go back to school. Anyway, I'm distracted tonight. Pinder's got me mad now. Jack doesn't know how to spell. Anyway, we'll get into this game tonight. This was everything that frustrates you about this team. That, quite honestly, they've kind of shrugged that a little bit over the years. This is what frustrates you, is they get you, especially last year, just when they start, you think there's something, then they show you, no, actually we're not that. And then it goes the other way. Oh, maybe you're really bad and you'll beat a good team. Then they'll beat some good teams. Oh, so are you good? And then they'll lose to a bad team. I don't know what they are. They're incredibly streaky, Cami. They had lost 4 in a row, then they win 4 in a row, then they lose 4 in a row. Now they had the nice start on the road trip, lose to the Rangers, lose to the Sharks. Just every time they get a little bit of ground gained, they just give it right back, seemingly in the easiest way possible.
I just feel like it's a case of them playing to whatever opponent is in front of them. That's kind of the level they're going to be at. If they're going to be up against a Rangers team, win or lose, they're going to be playing that kind of hockey. And if they keep that up, it is a damn good thing they have Boston and the Oilers coming up next week.
And I wonder, I wrote down life without Markstrom. Is this what?
I was curious about that. For you, does a night like this shore up a direction for goaltending, or give you an idea of which direction you would like to go if you were in Craig Conroy's shoes?
I think there's just kind of, if you're committed to moving on from Markstrom, a night like tonight can't alter your decision-making process, right? It's such a big organizational, transformational kind of a move to move that guy, because it's going to be millions of dollars out. You're going to be eating salary. It's draft picks in. It's all of that sort of thing. I just don't think that one night where Dustin Wolf plays his second NHL game, you start to reevaluate it. They were back off a road trip. They weren't very good. But the thing of it is, you look at those turnovers that led to the 2 goals for the Sharks. They've been giving those up over the last little bit. It's just Markstrom's been making those saves. He's been heroic in that crease and has been diving and making crazy saves. I just wonder, if you had average goaltending, where this team would be in the standings, because Markstrom's been tremendous. And I still think you trade him if you've got a trade that makes sense. I still think you have to look past it, but it does give you at least maybe a scary little bit of look in what some of these nights can be when you're on the power play, but you give up a shorthanded chance and then they score, or you have some momentum, but then it goes back the other way. And the first shot that the team will get in 5-6 minutes, they score. It would be very frustrating, could be very frustrating, I think, for fans, for the players on the team, just for everybody, potentially if you do move Markstrom, and if you are then dealing with average goaltending at best.
For sure. And I think Dustin Wolf would even tell you that this is probably this was a below average night for him. You could see San Jose was really going high glove side on him. There was the one goal where it looks like, he might have caught his skate or something, but he's just off balance on one of the, I think it was the first Zadina goal.
It was
on the overhead
turnover,
shot. You could see that he had lost where the puck was, and his head is completely turned as it comes over top of him. That's frustrating. It's also 6 games is not a big enough sample size to say what this guy will be like at the NHL level. I'd love it if we could go back through Jacob Markstrom or, a Thatcher Demko, a Connor Hellebuck's first 6 NHL games to kind of see what they did, but they were not helping him out at all in front. And I don't know, maybe someone who was at the game can let us know, but from the angles they were showing on TV, it also didn't really look like the Flames were going up and apologizing, being like, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, you can't, and I see and we'll go through some of it maybe later. But there's a lot of definitive stuff going on. There's Wolf is not ready. Wolf can't be ready. This was one night, and the team in front of him is not very good tonight. They made horrendous errors right in front of him. Noah Hannafin turned the puck over right in front of him. Mackenzie Weegar turned the puck over, and they immediately led to goals. And maybe Markstrom does make those saves, but you shouldn't be expected to make them, and you shouldn't be judged by not saving them. Now, there were some others maybe where he wants them. Yeah, he lost the redirect, but we've seen Markstrom kind of lose those. The Cunning's goal where he's allowed to walk in and goes top shelf. These are unbelievable scoring chances. And I don't know. I thought that Mackenzie Blackwood at the other end, I thought he was fine. I thought he was good tonight, but I don't think he had to be great. Still let in 3. Maybe on some nights you win 3-2, but there's a lot there tonight. They were very loose. They were sloppy. The goalie wasn't great, but he was going to have to be if they were going to get any kind of a win. Now, as far as a highlight of the night, we go all the way back to the very start of the hockey game because it felt like, here we go. This is how it's going to be. The Sharks came out. They had a few shots, a bit of a slow start, and then the Flames really started to take over by the end of the first period. You felt like, okay, we know how this is going to go. And Nazem Kadri off of, I think he's our boy. Isn't he everybody's boy? Pospisil. Everybody's on the Pospisil train now, right? We all love him.
Gotta be. He was a bright spot tonight.
He's got the vibe.
I want to talk about him more later. So away on my notes now.
All right, we won't.
Fans,
but this is
fans.
For Betway, the official gaming partner of Afterburner and Barnburner. Let's take a look. We go back to the first for our highlight of the night.
I know it's crazy. Like Calgary lost like this, and they had some calls go their way.
Yeah, they had really some bounces for sure. Yeah, but there again, it's we've talked plenty about him on both shows. There's something about Pospisil that you have to have the desire to play that way, the want to play that way, but you also have to have the ability, and not everybody can do it. He's a big, strong guy, and I don't know how to. I know I laughed the other day. You had talked about how there's with Zary just a sprinkling of jerk on that line, and with him there's just a little bit, just a dash of jerk in there, and there is that, but he doesn't strike me as a guy who's like jabbering in your ear like a Sean Avery and getting under your skin. I don't think he's taking dirty, cheap shots like Marchand did early in his career, even Matthew Tkachuk. But there's something about this guy that drives the opposition crazy. But if you sleep on him for a little bit, he'll cause a turnover, and it's a 2-on-1, and will either score or get a helper. It's a unique blend of skills that Pospisil brings to the rink.
It's almost like, yeah, he doesn't need to irritate you with his words. He will irritate you with his actions every single time. And it's kind of a shame we didn't get a chance to see more of him just because there was so much special teams time tonight. He did end up on the ice a decent chunk of time, was rewarded with that 1 assist, but yeah, it was just overshadowed by so many mistakes. As you've alluded to a couple times, there was one excellent former Halifax Moosehead on the ice tonight, and it was a Mackenzie Weegar.
Halifax Moosehead is was Jonathan Drouin on the ice tonight? I had no idea that he could have sworn.
Shout out Philip Zadina, 6th overall.
Oh, I see. I thought Nate McKinnon was an Avalanche, but go ahead. So Philip Zadina, the former, because we nailed this down, the former, is he not a draft pick of the Red Wings? So yeah, he was a draft pick of the Red Wings, but he's
a guy who kind of couldn't figure it out there. Got his fresh start in San Jose. Looked damn good tonight.
There you go. It's interesting how teams
and it does look like he had a career high 4 points tonight, and Mackenzie Weegar did sound off in the scrums post game, saying, "I think we expected it to be an easy game."
I think that's fair. I think they did. I agree with Mackenzie in his assertion that it looked like they maybe took them a little bit lightly, and I mean, I don't know. Is it just natural? You can come out and say all the right things. No, we know this Sharks, they're a real good team, and this to some degree. And Warner talks about it all the time. You'd rather the first game back, or if you're struggling or you're tired, you want a team that you fear could blow your doors right off, because then you know you've got to be ready. But you probably kind of limp in. You're kind of, we're just in New York, kind of tired. Well, it's San Jose. Well, who we got on Saturday? It's Wednesday. Oh, the Wings are coming. Okay. It's a very easy look ahead spot, regardless of how the coaches will prep you and you can say all the right things. But I do think it's real. And
especially when you're getting the team on the second half of their back-to-back.
Yeah, because they were Winnipeg last night?
Mhm.
And I think it probably happens for the Flames. We've seen it happen a few times where they went into Boston and got the Bruins. Maybe the Bruins were looking past the Flames. It happens on both sides. So I don't know. It's still the San Jose Sharks. If you are clinging to a hope of them getting into the playoffs, this is a big kick in the pants tonight, because this is 2 points that has to feel that you had chalked up in the win column. If you're going through the month, how many wins are you getting? Well, you're definitely getting one here, and you definitely didn't get one tonight. So that's a crusher. So you're highlighted
Especially
tonight.
when they go 0 for 5 on the power play again, and they look better at 4-on-4 and on the penalty kill, even though they did allow one power play goal tonight. Frankly, they build more momentum from kills.
And the other teams just feast on their power play, right? This is going to be easy to kill off, and maybe they get the best chances. The team killing will end up we had the better scoring chances. We had more shots, and they certainly gained momentum off of it. So it's not good. I don't think that it's a situation where Mark Savard's in danger of losing his job, but if this is how the season goes and they continue to have a 30th, 29th, 31st ranked power play, I don't know how you can't look at things in the offseason and wonder if you need to make a change. And that's rough because it's his first season and there isn't a ton of talent here. But we've also talked about it. If 5-on-5, the Calgary Flames were 30th in the league, and you had a 29th or 30th ranked power play, I can see how that might be the case. But that's not where they sit. I'll just take a quick look here. I'm not sure where they are in terms of goals for, but they're middle of the pack in terms of offense. I don't know why they should have such a terrible power play. I understand you got to have some skill. I get it, but they've got enough skill to score 5-on-5. So goals for, yeah, I mean they're middle of the pack. 1, 2, 3, 5. It's just hard to wrap your head around why. And they're in so many tight games. You feel like that power play would make a difference, but it didn't tonight, to your point. So there's Betway with the highlight of the night. It was coming off of the skate of one Nazem Kadri. Coming up next Saturday, we are going to be at Greta. It is we're going to go and yeah, that's right. We're going to go shake it a little bit.
What game are you going to go to at intermission?
Shake that caboose. I don't really know. Intermission, it's not oh, I see. What game?
Yeah.
I thought you meant like what hockey game? Or we're going to flip the screen? No, it's
No. You're at Greta. You don't just sit there.
Yeah, I know, Jack, you were shooting hoops, right? You like shooting the hoops. So I got bad shoulders. I can't, I can't do that. It's going to have to be, it's a very good question, Cami. Gosh, you caught me right off guard.
Maybe the Mario Kart?
Maybe Mario Kart.
Or your shin's too sore?
Well, see, I was going to say, can you sit down when you're doing the Mario Kart? I'm not sure, but it's a very good question. February 24th, doors open at 7 o'clock. We're going to be at Greta YYC, Greta Bar, the place to be. Now, here's what we're doing. We're charging $10 to get in. Tickets are $10. Now, what is that? What's that about, Boom? The proceeds are going to support Closer to Home. That's the community services arm. And for Closer to Home, that's who we raise money for at Christmas with our Christmas campaign for their, getting families with Christmas trees and presents and gift cards and all that sort of thing. So they do great things. That's why we have tickets. It's for attendance purposes and obviously to get some money to some people who need it. So we'll have some fun, some food, some prizes. We'll watch the Battle of Alberta, and it is brought to you by McLeod Law LLP and Village Honda, our events partners. You can get your tickets online, nationgear.ca. Do that before they sell out. There is a limited number because we can't, got a great little room in there. Got a great little room. Maybe have some drinks. It's Saturday after all. And they're not playing at the Dome. They're playing in Edmonton. So you're going to be watching it on the tube anyway. You should probably watch it with us as we raise some money for a great cause. So that's coming up next Saturday. Feb 24. We break. When we come back, hungry for more. Hungry for a lot of things tonight. We'll dip into that as well.
Famished.
We're just dying over here. We're going to test. Now, Cami is sneaky into kind of she's a heavy metal girl. You don't know this about Cami, but she is. So we'll test her hair metal knowledge coming up, and we'll get into some burning questions before we're all said and done. We take 2 minutes here for a break. Stay there. We are well into the winter months now, and you can feel it, can't you? That urge to get away. Maybe some beach time to warm up those bones of yours. Maybe a hockey, sports kind of road trip. Well, when you pack your bags, make sure you don't forget Alberta Blue Cross. There's only one thing better than sharing memories, and that's making new ones. Alberta Blue Cross Travel Insurance protects your memories and more, wherever travel takes you. Visit ab.bluecross.ca/travel for more information. Alberta Blue Cross, celebrating life's memorable moments inspired by hockey.
Hey guys, it's Pinder. Chatting about Charm Diamond Centers. Did you know that Charm's been Canadian owned and operated since 1972? And there's over 85 locations coast to coast to coast with Charm and their sister brands. Get this now. You want to get something custom made? How about custom ring building delivered in less than 4 weeks? That's unreal. That is the Charm Masterpiece program, and they've got unbeatable pricing policies as well. Whether it's mined diamonds or Canadian lab-grown diamonds, check them out. For more information, go to charmdiamondcenters.com. That's charmdiamondcenters.com.
All right, gang, listen up. It's time to learn the pro pose. Coach?
Bend and snap.
Beautiful form. Nice arm extension. Facial expression. I could use some work. All right, let's see it. The pro pose. What's that guy doing?
I think that's the bend and snap.
That's a whole different deal. Charm, home of the pro pose.
Wendy's is letting you win real food with your fantasy teams this year and Daily Face-Off. For those of you who smoke the competition, Wendy's is rewarding you with weekly prizes that'll have you winning despite your lack of team-building skills. Download the Wendy's app and score yourself 150 bonus reward points on your first order. Grab a sweet victory from the mouth-watering jaws of defeat, along with some fresh, never-frozen beef. Sign up to play Daily Face-Off to win weekly prizes like the spicy chicken sandwich from Wendy's and the Wendy's app. Did you get it's kind of a reference there in the pro pose with the snapping thing? Do we know? Jack, do you know what that's from? When he does the snapping of the case and he does the whole he, which is Jim Playfair's kid from Letterkenny. I don't know if you knew that. Did you get that reference, Jackie boy?
No,
Jim
I don't.
Playfair of the Prince George Cougars now.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's coaching up there.
Is that right?
He sure was.
Look at you with the see. You know what? You're so smart. You're so smart.
Oh, you.
Yeah. Oh, that's
You're gonna regret saying that. Big mistake.
Right.
Huge.
Big mistake. Huge. That's from Pretty Woman. You know the Richard Gere, Julia Roberts. Do you know that movie? Does anybody know that movie? No.
I'm a big fan of that movie.
She's a lady of the night, Jack, and Richard Gere is a successful man about town, but doesn't want to be seen as someone who is without someone beautiful on his arm. So he hires the girl to be his his supposed girlfriend, lady, whatever. But she can't go out dressed like a lady of the night with her long, with her crazy get up. So he buys her some beautiful clothing and jewelry to go along, because she'd have to look a certain way to be at that level with him. So he's showing her the jewelry, and she's like, "Oh my goodness!" She goes to touch it, and he snaps it, like to scare her, like a shark. And then she goes, "Oh!" She has a big reaction to it, which is what that was. So Jack, now when you watch Pretty Woman this weekend, you'll get that when that part comes up.
You're so much more passionate about Pretty Woman than you are about this game.
This game stunk.
Also, he offered her $3,000 for 6 days in the movie. That is $500 a day, and frankly, she should have asked for more.
But at the time, it's kind of like, you know what it is? It's inflation. You go back, what year was that movie? Late 80s or mid 80s? It's like NHL salaries, right? What was Mark Messier making in 85? Probably not what you'd make nowadays. He dated Madonna. Did you know that, Cami?
Who did?
Mark Messier.
Well,
they called him the Moose.
As someone who grew up in BC in the early to mid 2000s, I'm sure you can guess my opinions on Mark Messier.
Oh dear. Just checking in on a couple of things.
Yeah. It sounds like there were quite a few scouts at the game again tonight there from some
Yeah.
buddies in the press box. It sounds like there were 13 scouts, a couple from New Jersey. And for the record, I also know a lot of the reporters down at the Dome have been requesting to hear from Mr. Markstrom and Mr. Noah Hannafin since the team got back from the road trip, and they've been unavailable.
Hannafin will want to just wipe that giveaway off of his sizzle reel after tonight, but no, well, let me see.
Picking up a batch of turnovers.
The last was not true. Okay, well, you're gonna hear all kinds of things at this time. I was saying on the other show, it's crazy time. You're 3 weeks away from the trade deadline or whatever the heck it is. You send 2 scouts to go and see a guy, people are going to see that you've sent 2 scouts there. Must mean that you're in. Must mean that there's something going on. Right? It's what makes it fun. It's what makes it annoying. I'm fine with it either way because I don't get too bent out of shape. It's rare that I take the fun out of anything. This is one of those things where some people are irritated by it. Hey, maybe there is a blockbuster coming. Who knows? Let's keep watching. If it doesn't happen, well, that's too bad. But if it does, then let's talk about it. Just checking on a couple of things. I assume that in time for Detroit, a number of things or a couple of things may happen. I don't know, regardless of, it's not a blame game, but I would assume if Dan Vladar is back, and I think he is, so he will come off the IR. You would assume that Wolf will go back down to the Wranglers. And just kind of keeping an eye on Pelche, he was day-to-day. So I think they feel like they've dodged a real bullet there because of how it looked. He went down in a heap and looked to be in a lot of pain. It looked as though he looked at it as a guy who had re-injured himself, that knew the feeling of...
That is always the first
right?
fear, because I think we saw that after the bubble season where Chris Tanev, was it that season or the season after, where he had shoulder or a procedure done in the off season, and then he came back and like took a big hit in the first couple games, and everyone was like
up along the glass there. And then even then when he hurt himself in the Dallas series and was gone and then came back the next year, you just feel like every bump is gonna do something. And maybe it did for him, even because it was such a weird hit. That's big guy on a little guy, didn't see it coming. And if you had just rehabbed, a complete rehab, and you're 3 games now in your 4th game back after missing the entire year, and you feel a tweak or anything that goes on, you probably start assuming the worst. But it sounds as though that's not what happened, and they are crossing their fingers. So they're just kind of monitoring him on a day-by-day basis to see how he's feeling. So fingers crossed for Pelche. That's what's happening. I wonder too about where Coronado is at. If he's a guy, obviously went to the All-Star game, had a good showing there, probably wants to get a bit of a taste here. It's going to be a wild few weeks, Cami. There's going to be some trades, and I would think there's probably some guys that are playing for the Wranglers that are going to get games here that probably have no idea they're going to be getting games. It's just how it's going to be. Things could get pretty thin. Could get pretty thin up here pretty quick, depending on injuries, trades, and all of that. It could be a lot of paper trail between the 2 teams.
Absolutely. It'll give people a lot to talk about the next couple of weeks, and even like this weekend. I think in a best case scenario, we would be talking right now about what it was like to see all the new faces and returning faces who we hadn't seen for a long time tonight. Now that's all just kind of completely under the radar as a result of all this. Like, we're not really talking much about Kuzmenko, about Rooney, Schwimp, Hall, Wolf, seeing the team at home for the first time, minus Elias Lindholm, who is on hat trick watch.
I saw.
Whole Vancouver.
Yeah.
Zadorov has a goal tonight too.
Seeing Elias Lindholm in the black Canucks jersey, it's a bit, takes a minute. It takes a minute to get used to. So, hey, we were all for it. We were for it. You can't say trade him, and then when you trade, it's like, oh gosh, I don't know. Kind of didn't want to see him looking so good so fast. It's like when you break up, and then the person you break up with, like, gosh, you You got a real glow to you. You seem like you're really happy, eh? Oh, well, I'm happy for you. Yeah, really happy for you. I hope nothing but the best for you, Elias. I hope it all works out.
What's
Uh,
Kuzmenko for you? A cheap rebound?
yeah, just some Russian, hey, for just some little Russian that you're gonna keep in your life for a little while, and then if it doesn't work out, you're gonna just cast them off as well. I hope Kuzmenko's a keeper. I like him. I'm happy he scored again, even though it didn't matter. But I'm happy he scored again. I want him to be happy. Keep your spirits up, son.
A more positive note to end the evening on. That's what that was.
I guess so. Sure. Yeah, I suppose so. Let's do a little DoorDash hungry for more. Ordering's easy with DoorDash. You got restaurants, you got groceries, pharmacies, bakeries, flower shops, and more. Whatever it is, it comes right to your door. You order what you want, when you want, from wherever you want it. And right now, if you've not yet used that DoorDash app, you can get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more. Download it and go with Nation25 as the promo code for that 25% off deal. So for DoorDash, we do a little thing called Hungry for More. So it could be, this has been going terrible. We need more. Or this has been going great. Let's keep it going. How about some more of that? Anything, not a lot I'd want to keep rolling with from this game. I'm not looking for anything to really continue at any great rate, but what do you see tonight in your Hungry for More?
I usually like to go the positive route for this one, and I was initially going to say Pospisil tonight, but I do think what I was really hungry for more was finish on a freaking breakaway or an odd man rush. Flames were 0 for 3 on breakaways tonight. We could have seen Jonathan Huberdeau's 700th career point. You know, we saw Backlund go for a pass to Mangiapane on what was a 2-on-0 at that point, and one of the Sharks defenders like miraculously dives out and gets his stick on the pass. I just wanted to see some finish on those odd man rushes because the Flames are doing that thing again where they make a, no offense, Mackenzie Blackwood, average goaltender look like a Vezina candidate.
Yeah, they get goalied. We kind of had a thing. They got, it's tougher because of how his name goes, but they got Blackwooded tonight. They got Mackenzie Blackwooded in this game a little bit tonight. But at the same time, when you give up 6 without no empty netters there, some nights they got an empty netter and then we scored one and then they got another empty netter. No, this was 6 behind Dustin Wolf, and they earned most of them. Or I guess you gave them most of them. The full blame to you on giving up those 6. So it's really tough to kind of. This was a 1-goal game at one point. It really felt like when they made it 3-2 and they started to turn things around, that this was just going to be another predictable fate for the San Jose Sharks, which was close but not close enough. And then I don't know what I don't know what happened. First game back, like you said, the other team had played the night before, a 2-day break. You're playing your 3rd goalie, depending on how you rank him. I guess I would be hungry. What I'm hungry for is a bounce back. This team, regardless of whether they're going to be a playoff team, not a playoff team, are you selling, are you buying? Through it all, they've been an exciting team to watch this year. They've been fun. They've been in hockey games. They've won a bunch of games. Not often have you left the rink or left the game feeling like this. This was really kind of an empty feeling. In New York, it was 2-0, but Markstrom was great and you were kind of right in it, even though at the same time, I think if Wolf plays that game, or if you play this way, you lose that one 6-0, right? You didn't score. You get blown right out. So I don't know. I'm hungry for them to get back to games that feel like where they are in it. I'm very hypocritical because if they can get a really good deal for Markstrom, I say do it. Because in 2-3 years, you want to have a team that you feel like is a legit contender, not somebody that you're trying to convince yourself that is a team that can make some noise. But if we've got 20 some odd games like this to look forward to, and then maybe a whole nother year of this, could be hard. So I'm hungry for a little bit of a better compete, a little bit better game coming up against the Wings on Saturday. I guess that would be my hungry for more.
And that's fair because Craig Conroy's made it pretty clear that this team isn't going to go for a full-on tank. It's going to be more of a retool type of situation and try to make the playoffs. So in that situation where they've also been very clear that they want to see these young guys getting more playing time, like your Peltiers and your Coronados when they're healthy and it's a good time to bring them up. If they're going to lose, you want them to lose the right way. And we have seen games like that from the Flames where they're close, they're so in it, the opportunities are there, the energy is there, so you don't feel completely defeated when the buzzer goes off at the end, you know?
Yeah. I was kind of looking forward to well, I shouldn't say looking forward. I'm never looking forward to doing post game. Don't take that the wrong way. But it was like, okay, they're going to come back. This is going to be an exciting finish. And then San Jose
I'll just go
kinda,
fuck myself. See ya.
and then San Jose keeps going. It's like we're really gonna have to talk about a San Jose. Oh, sure. Now it's 6-3. Just keep scoring. Just keep scoring, San Jose, so that we can sit there and try and figure out what the hell we're watching here tonight. But so there you go. That's our Hungry for More for DoorDash. Get the app, and yes, for a limited time, 25% off with the DoorDash app and promo code Nation25 on your first order of $15 or more. Don't take it personal. I would just rather sit here. Do we have to talk about the game? Let's talk about other stuff.
Oh, I like the
I got all
George
kinds of
Bernard
stuff.
Shaw references that we're seeing down in the chat.
I'm not sure I like the chat. I'm not sure.
But do you like George Bernard Shaw?
Not that familiar with his work, to be quite honest. I'm very dumb, Cami. I'm not well read.
Pygmalion, it inspired Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
And My
Is
Fair
that
Lady.
true? Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's true. Now, I said earlier, you're a rock chick, right?
It is
You are.
true.
I mean, you are.
try to be. I try to be.
No, you are. You are. Now, is it just because you like to slap at a bass? Is it just the bass, or are you doing the guitars as well? What are we doing there?
Okay, so I'm pretty rusty now, but I used to, bass was always my main, but I did a little bit of rhythm guitar, a little drums, a little piano, some flute, and a mean kazoo.
What? Is there any other kind than a mean kazoo? Well, that's not. I like that. I like that. I am terrible at guitar, and I own way more guitar gear than anybody that is as bad as me should. It's
What
embarrassing.
do you have?
It's honest. I can't tell you because it's so embarrassing.
Next time we do Afterburner together, can we like have a little play along? Can you give us a concert?
No, I can't
Serenade
play.
us?
I'm not playing you. What kind of why don't you tell me what kind of guitar you like? If you're playing a rhythm guitar, are you
just
into
a Fender. Actually, I've got really small hands, so like
Okay.
I find a Les Paul has a pretty thick neck, so I have a hard time reaching around on it. I say as I have a BC Rich that is like the biggest neck diving monster in the world. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so this is a custom
A little
shop
sunburst?
a custom shop R8, which is after the 58. It's in the tobacco burst, and it has kind of a big baseball-y type neck on it.
Mhm.
So when you go to the custom shop, it's got all the same glues and wiring, the same everything, the same pots and everything that they would have used back in the day. So this is the most expensive guitar I think I own. You can do some homework if you'd
beautiful.
like, and can't play it. Can't play it, but I've got it. So that's tonight. Next
Play
time,
something, play
No.
something. Come on.
so next time we do Afterburner, we can pick another one, and we'll see. Because I'll probably have one.
Can you play Smoke on the Water?
No. What else can we talk
I agree.
about?
Like I'm just looking at the catch, like Telecaster, Gibson SG. Yes, very much so. A Fender Mustang is also a lovely play.
Gibson SG, of course, if you remember,
Boom.
this is one of my favorites. I never used to enjoy the SG because I didn't like the look of it. I thought it kind of looked stupid, and it took me a while. But they're so thin, and they absolutely wail. These humbuckers, this guitar, it's so light. And this, have you played an SG? Because
Yeah, our rhythm guitarist, when I was in a band, played an SG.
the
He
neck
could
is so
sing Dire
much.
Straits like nobody else.
The neck is so much thinner than than a Les Paul. Now, the thing with like the fretboard, the shoulder, it's got bigger shoulders, so you kind of got to get around it. But this thing is, I'll never sell this thing. This thing is awesome.
So what kind of music were you thinking you were going to be playing when you got those bad boys?
It's not important, Cami.
Tell us. Give us one song. What song inspired you?
I just like stuff. Then you get buying stuff. It's like, oh, that's not bad, but ooh, this one's nicer than that one. So now I need that one now. Anyway, so you're a rock chick. You would appreciate what's coming up at the old Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. One night, 2 bands. It's before your time. It's right in my wheelhouse. It's Quiet Riot and it's Warrant. Yes, there you see it. Come on, feel the noise. And Warrant, she's my cherry pie. Put a smile on your face 10 miles wide. Looks so good, bring a tear to your eye. Sweet cherry pie. February 22nd, over at the Grey Eagle Event Center. Tickets available at ticketmaster.ca. That's where you get all your tickets for the events at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Mental Health, Uncle Tom's Cabin. Well, Mental Health, of course, is Quiet Riot.
We do love a good Slade cover.
Slade. Yeah, that's right. Keep your hands off my power supply, Cami, all right? Run away. That's right.
Mama, we're all crazy now?
We're all crazy now. We are all crazy. See, this is the shit I want to talk about. Are we... what did you...
I love that music. Actually, I got in trouble in my grade... when I was in grade 2, I auditioned for our elementary school talent show trying to sing Smoking in the Boys' Room, the Motley Crue version.
Yeah.
Didn't work out.
Didn't I? Stutter. So go get your tickets for the little double bill there, little hair metal double bill for Quiet Riot and for Warrant. We're going to break. We'll come back. Take a look at the road ahead. Get in some burning questions and more guitars. Who knows? You
Maybe
just never know.
Hockey. Who knows?
Yeah. What did you think of Man Japan?
It's our show. We do what we want.
What are they going to do with Man Japan? He's got 1 year left. Oh, God, I don't care. 2 minutes. Stay there. Greta, it's our home away from home for Afterburner. We'll be there for live watch parties throughout the season. Should be your spot regardless. Before, during, and after the game. Grab a cocktail, something from the menu, let the games begin, or maybe you get into the game yourself. Over 50 arcade games from vintage to state-of-the-art. Load up some credits on that Greta game card of yours and get at it. Greta Calgary, located at 213 10th Avenue Southwest. Check them out online, gretabar.com.
There's not much better than hockey season, and yeah, you can always cheer on your favorite team at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino's Stage Bar. You can enjoy the games on the massive big screen TVs they've got hanging above the bar. Friends, drinks, delicious food. Let's go. Visit Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.ca for more information. Now, maybe it's not game time yet, but there's always happy hour in the afternoon. Make the most of your day with great drinks and food at the Stage Bar and Blaze Bar and Grill for the happy hour every day, 2 to 5 at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Great food, specialty drinks, all starting at $5. Visit Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.ca for more information. We'll see you there. Are you thinking of buying or selling your home in the Calgary area? Well, there's one guy you've got to talk to. That's my pal, Derek Newman. Derek, born and raised in Calgary, volunteer, a pillar of the community, huge sports fan, girls, golfs, all kinds of sports, not to mention, yes, he loves, indeed, the Calgary Flames. So if you want to talk real estate in your community or you just want to chat about the Flames and what's going on in the sports world, you can give Derek a call. Incredibly friendly and approachable, but more importantly, trustworthy and incredibly hardworking. Take advantage of their complimentary in-house home staging consultation. Also, whether it's your first time or you're a seasoned buyer or seller of homes, he's going to understand what you're looking for and help you meet your goals. Also, Derek's network, substantial. He's able to find some homes that aren't even on the market yet. So whether you're buying or selling, or you just want to see what's going on with the value of your place, give him a call or a text. He's going to get back to you right away. Derek Newman of Newman Deans Real Estate with CIR Realty. Let Derek put his network to work for you. Call or text Derek right now at 403-619-6661 or email him at dnewman@cirrealty.ca.
And while we're talking about Newman Deans, congratulations to Derek, who has actually we're set to pivot. It is now the Derek Newman Group with CIR Realty. He is I'm sure it's because of Afterburner, all of his recent success. Everything's going so well in life for him now. It's now the Derek Newman Group. Is probably from just, I would guess, thousands of people who have heard about him and heard Pinder tell you. If it's Pinder's buddy, he's got to be good for me too then. So congrats to Derek for taking another big step and doing things on his own and building and getting that whole group going. So the Derek Newman Group, proud to have you on board here with Afterburner. So that is awesome. Check them out again. Same number. You can go dnewman@cirrealty.ca. That's his email. And the phone number remains the same as well. 403-619-6661. You need a house there, Cami? Need a home? You buying? You selling? Derek.
Actually, I bought a crappy little rundown place a few years ago and been slowly renovating it ever since and turning it into a David Bowie shrine.
Really? Are you handy?
Yeah, my parents built houses my whole life, so it's kind of been my first time giving her a go. We ripped out every room has been renovated now. Scraped all the popcorn ceiling off, replaced a kitchen, tore out a sunshine ceiling, and it's been a lot of fun.
God.
A lot of fun.
You're a rock star. You're homebody. You're
just like being busy.
Just this.
Sorry, what was that last one?
I was trying to say shock jock. You're not a schlock jock. You're a shock jock. You're a hot takes. I'm trying to like Stephen A. Smith. What do you call those guys? It's not like Howard Stern's a shock jock. You're
ew, no.
I'm just trying to think of what TV, radio, guitars, home renovations. Is there anything you can't do?
Elevate a puck, I guess.
Nah, you're good.
Unless it's on the backhand. I can lift a puck on a backhand. That's it.
6-3. Sharks win this game by a score of 6-3. I saw somebody in the chat. It's like at least they pivoted off talking about the Flames. Yeah, I don't know if anybody cares about any of the other stuff we were talking about. That's my bad. I should.
We're all just coping, man. We're all just coping.
Yeah, we're trying to get through it. Now, the road ahead for Village Honda. We'll take a look here, of course, with Village Honda. It's new. It's pre-owned. They got a lot of things going on. The Honda Civic continues to lead the way in value, reliability, performance. The 2024 Civic received a 10 out of 10 in Car and Driver's comprehensive vehicle testing. The Civic Type R and Civic Si ranked number 1 and 2 respectively in the sport compact category. You can check out the new Civic at Village Honda, located in the Northwest Auto Mall, and online at villagehonda.com. So the road ahead, there's a lot of home games, Cami, coming up for this team. What did I see? 7 of the next 9, something like that, going to be played at the Dome?
Yes, sir.
Because there is
That'll be interesting.
3 more on this 4-game homestand. They play Edmonton on the weekend, and then they're back. So, it's going to be a lot of.
We got the 2:00 start. A couple 2:00 starts coming off. First one's on Saturday against the Red Wings. Of course, Detroit's in Vancouver tonight. That game did end up 4-1. So I do not think did Lidholm get 1, 2. They halted him at 2. Zadorov got 1, and he did also mock one of the Detroit players for hitting the gritty after a goal the other night. Yeah. Zadorov hit him with that half-ass gritty with that. Maybe it's more of a streak of Petty.
I think it was
Jake. Head of highlights of Petty.
Yeah, I think it was Jake Wallman hit the gritty after scoring or something, and then Zadorov said, "Well, I got you. I can do that too." So, a 2-goal night for Elias Lindholm, +3 on the evening. It's gone really well for Elias as of late. You could say, just fine. Which is good for him.
It's working out for both sides, and that is the most you can hope for out of a trade. So then we got the next matinee on Monday. It's a family day tilt against the Jets. Winnipeg's offense has sorted out a bit. They have 7 goals in their last 7 games. Been shut out a couple times too. They beat San Jose 1-0 on Valentine's Day, but they had more than 80 shot attempts in that game. So they might be a touch frustrated by the time Monday comes around.
Yeah. So those are the two. It is kind of interesting that you have back-to-back 2 o'clock matinee games, but tied around the long weekend. So it's Detroit, then Winnipeg, and then Boston, who they'll be very well aware of who Calgary is after they beat them about 2 weeks ago.
It was kind of like Calgary like sucked the life force out of them or something, because Boston has 1 win in 5 games since the All-Star break, and they lost to the Kraken 4-1 today.
Yeah. That was a 4-1 win right after the All-Star break. And so and not only it's the homestand, it's the end of the month because it's the 12th here, or sorry, the 15th. So you got Detroit, Winnipeg, Boston, Edmonton for a one-off, and then back, and they'll play the Kings on the 27th, which will wrap up the month of February.
They're also getting Boston on the second half of a back-to-back. They will be in Edmonton the night before, so hopefully nice and tired.
It's a lot of home games coming up here for sure. You get even into the month of March. But what will that team look like after the 8th? That's the $1,000,000 question. Who will be here? Who won't be here? What's this team going to look like? Is it going to be a ton of, is it the Wranglers taking on teams in March and April, or what are we looking at? We'll see.
Well, I mean, Chicago is basically icing the Rockford Ice Hogs, so it's been done.
Bedard came back, which is great. That'd be awesome if you buy tickets to see the Stars, right? So if Bedard can get back in, he had at least a point.
I don't think everyone does. Some people do truly buy tickets to see the future.
Yeah.
Like, I know you can certainly classify Zary as one of the stars of the Flames right now, but people want to see Pospisil too.
Yeah.
People want to see Coronado. They want to see Wolf. So maybe they won't be paying top dollar, but people will still come out to see those players, or at least watch.
That is the road ahead for Village Honda. New in-stock inventory arriving daily. And, of course, huge selection of used vehicles, all makes, all models. Over 90 on site, 500 more available inside their dealership group. It's why Village Honda is your one-stop automotive destination in Calgary. They're worth the trip. Check them out in the Northwest Auto Mall. I think we kind of nailed everything we wanted to do here. We could ask, or we could get some questions answered, I suppose.
Yeah, hit it.
Jack's been kind of doing that. So some burning questions. If you have a question, you want to throw it into the chat from Facebook or YouTube, wherever you'll be watching tonight. We'll get to a few of them here in the next few minutes. We need our beauty sleep here. Let's be honest. How long should a post-game show after a 6-3 loss to the Sharks go? That's the magic question. But we'll get into it. Jack's been keeping some. Just fire them out as you see fit there, buddy. Is there any jump in hockey that's harder from the AHL to the NHL?
I would argue the jump from college hockey, just since it's such a shortened schedule, would be quite difficult.
Yeah, it's tough. It's the conversation that all parents have if they have a child. Are you going college? Are you going Western League? Or junior hockey, whatever you want to call it? You practice more in college, but you play fewer games. And in the Western League or in the CHL, you play a lot of games. But how really focused on schooling are you? I don't know. I would think that it's got to be. The AHL, everyone says the best league that isn't the NHL. So yeah, if you're going from somewhere below that, like you say, if you're going from junior to the NHL, that's an incredible jump. Players that can go at 19 and step right in, let alone the Bedards and the star players. But there are some guys, you think back of, Patrice Bergeron. Now I'm thinking there might have been a work stoppage in there, but a second round pick, never played a game in the American Hockey League before stepping right in at the NHL level. It's mind blowing. Some of the guys that go first or second overall, they do it. But when you're a second rounder, and clearly he should not have been a second rounder, but still, to make that kind of a jump is phenomenal. But that was back then. I know you work with the Western League. Kids are so much better at just everything nowadays. They're like
including their
machines.
Academics. We have some real smart kids in there. Should read our scholarship features.
Yeah. Maybe that jump is a little bit more manageable just because of how professional they are at such an early age. How are things with the Western League?
It's really fun. Actually,
Yeah.
I had a cool conversation with the Penguins director of hockey ops, Vuki Mapofu. He's from Saskatoon, and he played a season and a bit with the Red Deer Rebels under Brent Sutter, and he's playing against guys like Leon Draisaitl and Sam Reinhart. Hayden Fleury is his teammate, and he's like, I don't think I'm going to make the NHL as a player. And he's looking at how people make it as an executive, and largely like ex-players, lawyers. So in his season end meeting, he tells Brent, I think I want to go to law school. And on the phone, like Brent said, he gave him a hug. He's like, I'm sure like you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You're going to do it. And a couple years later, he ended up being a reference for him when Rob Blake gave Brent a shout asking about Vuki, got hired by the LA Kings, was there for 2 seasons. And now first season hockey ops with the Penguins. He's 27 years old.
Wow. Yeah.
And a goalie he played a lot, who was the top goalie in the Western Hockey League when he was with the Rebels, one Tristan Jarry.
There you go.
So he put a few past
sure.
his current goaltender as
There you go.
Pittsburgh is fighting with the playoffs too.
There's so many, and I mean, obviously it's kind of your wheelhouse, but from my years of covering the Western League, you run into guys that you covered when they were players. And one was when I was at the radio station right across the road was the courthouse. So I was walking across the road one day and I run into a guy that used to play for the Rebels, Paul Kersib. I'm like, Paulie, what's going on, man? He's in a suit. He's a full-on lawyer. He's got one of those little lawyer bags. Like, yeah, I just, you know what? Hey, boom, good to say. Yeah. I got court in a minute. I'm like, I'm thinking, what'd you do, Paul? No, he's a lawyer. He's going to, he's got, so there's so many of those stories where you think, well, if you're going to be a hockey player, you go a certain way. If you're just going to play hockey, but if you're going to go to school, you go to college or whatever. There's no definite one way. It's not linear. It's not an easy decision. And there's so many guys that went the CHL route that have unbelievable careers in something that's really not related to hockey, but they owe it all to hockey.
One guy, Brian King, who used to be with the Everett Silvertips. He now works not in aeronautics for SpaceX, but he's working in bringing internet to rural areas. Coleman Volrath, who used to be with the Victoria Royals. I think he was all 5 years there, but he's been at UFC, and the people he's working with, they're designing robots that detect methane emissions, and their findings like in Calgary and in the patch are like influencing environmental policy and like trying to save the environment. It's incredible what some of these guys are up to.
So there you go.
A lot of pilots too. A lot of pilots.
Really?
Yeah.
I went to college in Thunder Bay, and the college I went to was a big one for pilots. It was a big aeronautics school, which of course, I was right in my wheelhouse. Yeah, real smart guy that I was. But they were all kind of the same. Don't leave your wallet or your girlfriend hanging around at the pub with a bunch of pilots. Don't do it. Don't recommend it. Anyway, what else we got, Jack? What's happening? Would you retain salary on a trade in order to make your team potentially better for the future, knowing that your franchise value will increase? Of course. Yes, Gunson. And I think the Flames have only done it the one time, and I believe that was the David Riddick trade. But I think you've maybe heard a little bit how the Zadorov trade took place or didn't take place with Toronto is Craig wasn't going to retain any money. But you can only retain money on 3 players, so they didn't want to, just in case there was something else that came down the road, like a Hanifin trade or a Tanev trade or a Markstrom trade. Certainly with Markstrom already playing so well, you retain salary, the value could go up. So yeah, I think the Flames are willing to do that. I think that ownership gets a rough ride sometimes, but my gut tells me that in this instance, when you have a chance to really crush some big trades. So now they've traded Lindholm and Zadorov and haven't done it. So I think you do. It's not my money to spend, but I think it makes a lot of sense for sure. And you saw what salary could do. They gave up a first-round pick for Montreal to basically take Sean Monahan's salary. That didn't work out so well in the end. Worked out great for Montreal. But it can be a major boost to your franchise. Now, it's his money, not mine. So I guess that's probably the question for Murray Edwards, hey? Hey Murray, do you wanna spend $3 million for no real reason? You want to essentially buy some draft picks? Because that's kind of what you're doing. Don't know.
No, agreed. Before we get to the next question, I want to give a shout out to Dustin Wolf. That was obviously a very difficult night for him, and he, to his credit, came out and spoke to everybody after the game and faced some tough questions tonight. He said, it sucks, but I have to look at it as a great opportunity to go back and look, see some fixes, and go from there. So good for him for not backing down.
What stinks, it's you'd like the team to have played better in front of them, right? Because even just looking at the chat, and not to say, but I think the chat is a good cross-section of what Flame fans are going to be thinking. And what they're thinking tonight is, can he do it? Can Wolf do it? Is he too, because I'm seeing all the questions, is he too small? Do you think he can do this? It was one night, and the turnovers were horrendous in front of him, right? It was just, so you wish that the D was a little bit tighter in front of him, because I'm reserving judgment on it. I still think the guy can be an incredible goalie. You see what he did in junior. You see what he's done in the American Hockey League. Now, does it mean it's going to translate? Just, it's not a linear thing. It doesn't always happen the same way. But I'd like to have seen a little bit more from his teammates tonight. And they got 3 goals, but the third one, the game was done, and it even felt like by the time the second one, the damage had already been done. So I just hope that the kid can shake it off. It's one night, and I know that he will, but it'd be good for him to have a stretch of games where he starts to feel good about himself, because at this rate, he's not playing a lot of games. I don't know when the next time he's going to get in, because, Cami, if they bring Vladar back in, and if Markstrom doesn't get traded, when's Wolf playing again? I don't know when it's going to be.
Also, I just went and grabbed the stats from Markstrom's kind of first boo at the National Hockey League. Florida, they were not backing this man up at all. He was facing 41 shots, 38 shots, 34 shots. And again, there's the odd batted 976 here, 939 there, but there's a lot of mid-800s. Sometimes it just takes time.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we Wolfie, we're with you. Don't beat yourself up too bad there, buddy. We got your back still. Let's start winning. Start winning for sure. Why would you keep a 34-year-old Markstrom? What is the point? If Wolf needs a mentor, hire a goalie coach. What are your thoughts, Cami? What do they do with Markstrom?
Well, they do have a goalie coach.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just think it's so hard to find goaltenders of that caliber. It's difficult to let go of.
It was kind of sobering tonight, right? It's like you're not getting this is what it looks like when you don't get those crazy saves. And because you think about that Rangers game, that was this game. It could have been 4-2, 5-2, and just a complete runaway. But you were one shot away in the third period and could have tied that thing up. I'm still, like I say, I'm still on the other side. If you get a deal that knocks your socks off, you got to try and get it done. Because yes, he's 34 and he has 2 years left. And I don't think you're going to be a legit contender. Because you look at Florida, they bring Florida up all the time. Well, look at Florida. Florida was a really good team before they went on their run. And yeah, they finished 8th, and then Bobrovsky was out of his mind and they went to the cup final or whatever. And it's not the Flames. The Flames don't have that talent. They don't have Ekblad, and they don't have the star power that team has.
Oh, they don't have a first overall pick?
So to me, if you get a deal that gets you a young star and picks, I just think you have to really look at it, because there's not even a guarantee Markstrom's going to be at this level next year or the year. What if this is the peak? What if you look back and this is the
What if, but even if he is a serviceable goaltender going forward and you intend to try to ride out that contract and until you try to make a move or just let it go at the end, if he's aging, like that just kind of gives you more reason to play him a little less and hopefully be a good mentor as you try to arrange the turnover.
Yeah, it's hard because I feel like that's how they've gotten here to this point where they've had aging assets and they've kept them too long. What if you trade Jerome a year or two earlier? What if you trade Bomey, all of those guys, because you ended up trading them, and granted the trades weren't very good, but you just ended up at the end feeling like we held on to the asset for too long, and then what we got for him was either with Giordano nothing, or with Iginla next to nothing. You have a chance. Think about if, and it's not a great comparable, but go back in the day if they said, no, we're going to hang on to Joe Nieuwendyk. We just need to make this thing work. We don't want to get rid. What if Iginla never comes to Calgary? What if you think of some of those trades that happen? What if those trades never happen? Then that it has the potential to be a franchise pivoting situation.
But you can only go for it if it is that deal.
Yeah. You can't trade the goalie if he's not good. And then you don't want to trade him if he's real good. It's just, it comes down to what do you want to, you want to win the cup, right? You want, or at least you want to be a team that feels like every year you're not worried about, you're worried about home ice. Who are we playing in round one? Who's coming in here to play us? Not can we get there, right? There's some teams, they haven't thought in that. There's been no frame of reference for that for so long. Wouldn't it be great to be in that world? And it just feels like you only get those kind of players, those star players, by picking high, and if you can't pick high, you got to get them some way. I just feel like if there isn't a deal, you don't do it. Like you don't just sell them for pennies on the dollar. But if you get a deal that we're going to give you a first round pick, and here's a really good young player that you feel like, yes, that's a good young player. I just think you really have to look at it. Because you could be next year.
We have both made very pertinent points that we have not heard once before in this.
I know
in this topic.
Just you'd be with a $6 million, 36-year-old goaltender, and a team that's missing the playoffs, and you'd be thinking, "What the hell were we thinking?" You know what I mean? We had an opportunity there to maybe do something massive, but now he's 36, and it's $6 million a year. And we can't trade him, and he's a great guy, but we could have found a mentor somewhere else for maybe $1 million. It's tough. I get. It's why it's so exciting, and why it's.
How old is Yaro Halak? He'd be a great mentor.
Oof.
38.
Yeah. Okay, Jackie. What else we got? We're see now. Yeah, Dean and Cami. Do you think the Flames will claim Phillips?
No.
I don't either, but I really want them to.
They've done really well on their waiver pickups this year, but like as much as I love watching Matthew Phillips play at the AHL level, just because that is where I've been able to watch him the most, in talking to scouts from other NHL teams, it's kind of come down to the thing that kind of seems like it holds him back at the NHL level is not that he's not fast. It's that he's not as evasive as you need to be at that size. Like Gaudreau was small and Gaudreau wasn't a physical player and he wasn't even the fastest, but he was evasive. And I think that's something that will just hold him back. He might just be a textbook quad A player. But he's a dynamite guy and so fun to watch at the A level.
Such a good guy. He played 27 games for the Capitals this year. 1 goal, 5 points. So it did not work for him at the NHL level in Washington. He got only 2 games. And I think if you go back, he barely got ice time in those games. I think he had a goal post or nearly had one in one of the 2 games, but he was not put in a position to succeed in those games. I just kind of stick by it. He's played 30 NHL games. He has 1 goal and 5 points. Now he's 25. This is not like you said, he's not a prospect. Is he a project? I don't know what he is. But I just for fun, I would do it just for fun. I would say, you know what? Our power play is effing terrible. Go play power play. We're going to put you out there. 25, you're not a guy that's going to feel out of place in that locker room. We're about feeling good. It's about, Huska, you played for him. You've got some buddies around here. Come on back, be in the NHL, and see if you can get our power play going. Now, I'm really trying to convince myself, but I don't know. I would do it. I would have a really hard time. If I were a general manager, this would be one of those things, like being a farmer. It's like, well, the cow can't get pregnant. And it's just kind of are you going to slaughter the cow, or what are you doing with the cow? I really like the cow. I don't think I can kill the cow. Well, you can't. What is it? Just going to be a pet? You're just going to keep feeding this cow and make it your pet?
We actually did that once.
I think I'm going to have a pet cow. Yeah, I think so.
No, my uncle, the cows got out of the pen once, and he kind of just like grab like a broom or whatever's around, just kind of like push him back in, and he accidentally poked a cow's eye and hurt it, and he felt so bad he took out her tag and kept her as a pet.
Yeah. Now, it's not really the best analogy.
It can be done. See,
I'm not sure Phillips would like that analogy, that he's a cow that can't have babies. Anyway, it's I would find a home for him. It was a 1-year deal. It's one-way money. Bring him back. I would just bring him back and see if you can. It can't be worse. You lost Ruzicka or whatever. Okay, we'll bring Phillips back. Then I feel like, okay, it's a soft. Would I have traded Ruzicka for Phillips? Yeah, I probably would have done that. He was better at the A than Ruzicka was. Anyway, anything else, Jack? God, you don't have 11 questions sitting there. Dean, what's up for SmackDown tomorrow from Ryan Pinder? It's a big one tomorrow. The People's Champ and the Tribal Chief apparently are both showing up, Cami, at SmackDown tomorrow. They have to figure out who is going to the Elimination Chamber. So, and I don't know if that happens tomorrow. I think it might. But it's a good question, Ryan. Thanks for watching, and thanks for getting in that question. But I do believe that both. Now, Cami, I'll ask: do you acknowledge your Tribal Chief?
I know you're saying words, but I don't know what they mean.
Okay.
I'm down to learn, but I don't understand.
Well, I do. I acknowledge my Tribal Chief. The wise man says we should all acknowledge our Tribal Chief, so I do. So you got to raise your finger, get your finger, and you raise it up when it's time for the Tribal Chief to come out, and then he will say, acknowledge me, and you do. So you get your hands up and you acknowledge. And of course, the People's Champ is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Are you in a cult?
Kinda. Yeah.
I watch Stampede Wrestling, and that's about it.
Oh, that's good. That's good enough. Yeah, that's good enough. Pinder, get the hell out of here.
Is that really him?
I think so.
Picture scares me.
I know. That is what he looked like. I have a photo of him and I from about 3 weeks before COVID. I'll send it to Jack. God, we've been doing this for an hour 15. Cami, come on. We're not doing this now, are we? You have to have better things to do. Where's my drive? Put a question up.
Go home and watch Pretty Woman, I guess. What's the next question, Jack?
That's right. Yeah, another question.
What do we need to see from Dustin Wolf before he can be declared as an NHL goalie, especially when the position is so streaky to begin with?
Well, it's more than what you've seen. I mean, he needs more of an opportunity, and yeah, you do need to see more from him. I don't think that he has shown you that he is without a doubt this Vezina caliber guy in waiting, but he has at the AHL level, and everything to this point he has. It's just going to take time. He's going to need time to play poorly. He's going to need time to learn. Like you said, you look at a lot of these goalies, not many of them. Patrick Waugh, maybe, right? How many goalies come in and immediately look comfortable and start getting results and then winning and winning and winning? It doesn't happen. So Dustin Wolf needs time. And then when he's given that time, yeah, you're going to need to see some kind of results. But the other thing is, what if this is a team that suddenly is a little bit weaker? It might not be pretty. You're going to have to maybe kind of suspend disbelief for a little bit and try and look past a few things. But I do think he's going to get an opportunity. If they trade Markstrom, then he's getting all the opportunity in the world. No one will be complaining about lack of ice time or lack of starts for that guy. So I just think,
and like you said earlier, you were hungry to see the team bounce back, and he deserves that opportunity to bounce back.
Yeah, he does. It's not fair to him. And I have to think, almost to a certain extent, he's not really even being judged right now by Conroy or Huska. This is just an opportunity because Markstrom's played a bunch. He's with the team. He's probably going back down. Play against one of the worst teams in the league. He gave up 6. It's not encouraging, but it's not all his fault. That's why I wish the guys around him were better. You'd like for him to have had a feel-good game. If he goes back down, let him feel good about it. Right?
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I remember when he came right down to the Wranglers in the bubble right after winning World Junior Gold in Edmonton. His first AHL games were not good. Really not good.
Yeah.
And look how that turned out for him.
And then turn things around. Okay, well, that was just kind of a hiccup. And now he does look like that guy again. It's just going to take some time. All right, I'll send that up. I don't even know why I'm bothering doing this. It's so late. What time is it? Jeez. What else you got, Jack? Let's power through some questions here. But you'll appreciate this photo because we were both right hammered. Jesse, at what point in a game do you no longer selly? How many goals up? How many goals down is the cutoff? It's a good question because there was no celebration on the Kuzmenko goal. I think it depends on opponent, right? If it's against a hated rival, you're going to rub it in. I don't think there's a whole lot of bad blood between those two teams. It's a good question, though, I guess. I was interested, though, Cami, I don't know if you saw in the broadcast, it would have been 4-2, 5-2, and they had the John Denver going at the Dome. Yeah. Take me home.
They had the wave going.
Country roads. It's interesting that you play the kind of feel-good win song, the third period win song, when you're down by 2 or 3. I don't know. It's just me, I guess.
No, agreed.
Just okay, have fun, right? Just have fun. Do whatever you want to do, I guess.
Just keep playing the get loud sting, you know?
Yeah.
No, it's tough. It kind of depends on where and when too. Like a Tuesday night against, I was gonna say Nashville, but the Nashville games are always really spicy. Yeah. Screw it. Against San Jose, even if they were winning, like probably if you're up by like 3, you stop celebrating.
Yeah.
If it's Edmonton, it could be 10-1. And you would treat every goal like it just won you the Stanley Cup.
And I think it's
the fans would expect nothing less.
And I think what's the other team doing? Are they celebrating a bunch when they're going up or when they're it's you got to take it all. It's a tough question, Jesse. I wish you hadn't asked it because I don't really know how to answer it. Really tough question. Really tough one, especially this late in the show.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Look at Pinder.
Look at you.
Yeah. That was from I mean, he's so gassed.
Sorry, I need to get closer to this.
January, February of 2020. That was we were at the radio station and we took some people to Florida for the Flames trip. And we were out at just a lovely dinner. Of all the things that we did there. The guys did these trips right. So we had seafood. They had seafood towers. We had an unbelievable dinner with sponsors and everything. And we were right into it. And we came back from that trip And so I think we got back on a Friday, then it was the weekend. Anyway, by the time the next week came around, I was sick as a dog, and Pinder was sick. And it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and a bunch of the salespeople went on this trip as well. And no one was at work. The third floor was completely empty. There's no salespeople. Where are? Oh, everybody is just deathly sick. They're very ill. They're not coming. So we're the only two guys that are coming into the office. Guaranteed, we all had it. Guaranteed, we all had COVID before COVID was a thing. Because truly, about 2 weeks later, they were canceling games and the world shut down. So we had COVID before it was cool. That's what I'm saying.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Truly
And
the
then-
hipster of a global pandemic.
Yeah. And Pinder has not had a haircut since, except for the tightening of the sides and getting into a mullet.
I know
There it
Pinder
is.
looks like he's gonna knock on your door and tell you the good news.
Yeah, that's right. Because then Pinder had to leave while sick for Dunedin. He almost got stranded in Florida because he went back down to Florida for Blue Jays spring training. And it was like, we got to get Pinder out of there, because if we don't, they're going to shut down airplanes. And they did.
Wait, didn't you guys
RIP.
also get stranded when you were in Nashville?
Yeah, that was not COVID related. That was
Yeah, maybe you guys are just really bad at planning your travels.
Cami. This is all of it was out of our control. COVID was not our fault. We didn't make COVID. We didn't do that. No, we went to
That
Nashville.
sounds exactly like something that someone who was at fault would say, though.
Okay, I'll tell you what happened with Nashville. So we go to Nashville for the draft, and the next day, whatever it was, because it was weird. Remember, the draft was like Thursday, Friday, or something. Anyway, the next morning, we are leaving Nashville. You can't fly direct, so we're going Nashville to Dallas to Calgary. It's right before the Canada Day long weekend. We're ready to get out of Nashville. Nashville's great, but it can take a lot out of you. We're having dinner. I just happened to go onto my phone. What time? How's our flight looking for the morning? Our flight is delayed already for whatever reason, leaving Nashville to Dallas. So delayed that we're not going to get to Dallas in time to get our plane to Calgary. Oh God. I mean, now what are we going to do? How's this going to work? Long story short. Oh God, he's
Sorry, I'll turn it sideways. Hi, guys.
Hello, sunshine.
Hello, Ryan. What do you see? And now, so now he comes on with shitty internet. Jesus, I mean,
Oh my god!
I just hate him. I hate all of them. Jeez. So anyway, we're not going to get home. Now we're going to be stuck in Nashville, or what are we going to do? Because we have to, long story short, we need to get to Dallas in time to catch that flight. So what are we going to do? Are we going to rent a car and start driving? We're not going to, at this point of the night, we're not going to be able to drive from Nashville to Dallas, Texas in time for that flight. Can you fly us to Chicago? Can you fly us anywhere? How can we? Pinder's on the chat with American Airlines. What are we going to possibly, please get us home? Please. It's Canada Day long weekend. We can get you home on Tuesday. Tuesday's no good. This is Thursday. We've been here since Monday. We have to get out of here. One of the guys on our trip says there's a little airport in Louisville, Kentucky that has one flight in the morning that'll get you into Dallas in time to get on that plane. Where is Louisville, Kentucky? It's about a 4-hour drive or whatever it was.
Probably like an SPHL team there.
So we looked at each other. Well, if we're doing this, we need to leave dinner right now, go to the hotel, pack our bleep, get to the airport, rent a car or whatever. Just rent a car and start driving. The only place you could rent a car at that time of night was the airport. So that's what we did. Uber to the hotel to airport, rent a car, drive to Louisville. We get there in plenty of time. We're in good shape. Pinder says, you know what? Let's go to the Waffle House. Great idea. So we go to the Waffle House. Terrible idea, because we didn't realize it. You lose an hour somewhere, and it's not on the state line. It's somewhere mid-state. like
Oh.
Lexington or something, you lose an hour. We're like, holy shit, we're still going to miss our flight. Now we've spent hundreds of dollars on a rental car and we're in Louisville, Kentucky. We're never getting home. We get to the airport and it's the longest security line you've ever seen in your life. I've given up. Like, okay, so Louisville. What do you eat in Louisville? What are we going to do here? Pinder does what Pinder does, which is talk to people. And I'm sorry, we really need to get in front of you for security line. Talks our way in. We sprint to the gate, get on the plane. We're going to make it. This is great. Plane backs up. Plane drives back into the gate. We have some loose screws on one of the wings. We're gonna have to get maintenance to come and look at it. It was like a movie. It was Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It was unbelievable. In the end, the plane we were on was the plane that was going to be leaving Dallas to go to Calgary. It had the same flight number, like 2024. So wait, 2024.
Mhm.
So Pinder says to one of the flight attendants, "Is this plane going to Calgary?" She's like, "Yeah, that's the route today. It's Louisville to Dallas to Calgary, and the run ends in Calgary." So somehow the draft gods or the whatever gods were looking out for us, because the one plane in the world we needed to be on was that plane in Louisville. Then we just needed the screws to be tightened on the friggin' wing or whatever, because then if the plane couldn't leave, then we were stuck. But yeah, that's what it was. It had nothing to do with COVID. Again, and nothing, I mean, it's not our fault. I know you want to pin this on us, Cami. You could try, but
All
it's not
right,
gonna
all
work.
right. You're exonerated. You're exonerated. I know we've kept you here far too long already, but I just sent in a nice picture of Pinder as well. I don't know if
Did I?
Jack can get it up
Oh, I
there.
saw you were doing something. You weren't paying attention.
No,
And-
I was listening.
No, you weren't. Greatest flight coincidence ever. It truly is. There was one plane on the globe that was going to Calgary from Dallas. We were on it.
Yes, you were.
Miracle.
And now you're here. And we are thankful for that plane.
Yeah, it's a miracle.
Loose screws and all.
Yeah, loose screws, all right. Show's still on? Holy hell. Yeah, I know. I don't know. J-Man, I don't know what to tell you.
We're just trying to distance ourselves from that game at this point, I think.
Oh, I really, gosh. You know what, Cami? I've spent so many years of my life talking about Flames hockey. So many years. So many years.
It's aged you wonderfully.
I hope this is the last year. I keep telling the guys, I'm like, what? We're done with this, right? Like, how many more years can we talk about? Well, I think they need to put a right shot on the left side on the power play and get them off the dasher instead of down low. It's like, oh, God.
You're here at least until they're in the new building. At least.
Cami, don't say things like that.
Oh, and I think our lovely picture is queued up. Ours looks much less wholesome than yours.
See, that's the Pinder eye.
That's the hair that we think of.
Now, were you out with him by choice? Because there's no way you would do that to yourself.
We were at a cavalry event and then just
Uh-huh.
decided to keep the party going. You guys were still at 960 at this point because he
Yeah.
decided to just stay out till he had to go to work.
Yeah.
And I think at this point we had discovered, we decided that the ships in the painting and the ship and anchor weren't real ships because they didn't have names. Ships have names.
Yeah, they do.
Mhm.
Is that that's not the Blue Nose? That's not the
Wanna know-
Nina,
okay,
the
I'm
Pinta, or the
related
Santa
to
Maria?
the former skipper of the Blue Nose who raced it and it sunk on his watch.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not what you want to be known for,
Shit,
right?
something. I mean,
I guess.
we're kind of proud of it.
Yeah. God, he's so much, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a lot.
He's so much. He's so loud.
He was so excited and he talked about guys feeding him Jameson shots the night before / that morning. And Dylan was so excited that he was referenced on your show. He's just delighted. He's like, I bought those shots. I bought those shots.
It's not the blue nose. Thanks, King. Like
Yeah.
I think that's the you know what? Like how many
It was
boats
just
do you know
a
the
ship.
name?
We know it wasn't a real ship because it didn't have a name. Of course it wasn't the blue nose.
Thanks for that though, King. Appreciate you. No, wasn't the blue nose.
Thank you, Razor57. I know you've stuck with us for this entire stream because he's referenced what I said in like the first minute, and we've been here for an hour and a half.
I know. Now it just feels like we need to just I don't know. I could ruin the morning show the next day. Who did? Pinder? Yeah, for sure he did. Oh, that you know what? I think I know that day. Is that the day? I think that talking about COVID. Pinder, is that the day that I got sick with COVID and then couldn't come in the next day? They played Washington that night. And I think I called you. I'm like, yeah, I'm positive. I'm not going to be able to come to work. And you were like, oh, well, this is not good because I'm tanked. I'm right to the gills right now. And then you came on the next day. I think I still have the audio. Warner and Pinder did the morning show the next day. Pinder was still drunk. I've never heard anything like it in my life. He couldn't talk. He was so yeah, this is Bagoosh. But yeah. I was 8 pints in. It was the Washington game for sure. I friggin' knew it. Oh, he's such a hammerhead. Pinder, I've got COVID. I can't come in. Oh, all right. Well, yeah, it's too bad. I hope, all right. See ya. And that show the next day, Cami, there's no radio station in the world that should have had those two a-holes on the air. Like nowhere. It was because Warner sounds like that at the best of times, and he's just waiting for someone to talk to him. So he's, you can just hear him breathing into the microphone, and Pinder's trying to drive the conversation. So the Capitals in flames at Saddle of Dome last night with so four Ovechkin's got 6 on the year, and it was.
Not the heavy breathing.
Oh, just ridiculous. Warner's the best. Oh, Rhett's so great. Yeah, he's awesome. He really is great. Pinder, yeah, slurring. It was on. I wish, God, I'd love to find it right now. I would play it for you. We'd probably get sued by Rogers, but I'd love to play it because it was incredible. It was so great. I was sending it to everybody I knew. Listen to Pinder and Warner. This is what the show sounds like without me. Imagine if I left them. This is what they would be every single day. Oh, God, that's got to be enough. You tired? I'm tired. Jack, there's no more questions. Jack, shut up. How you doing,
In
Jack?
the meantime and in between time.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna call it a night. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks for everybody for hanging out right from the very start. We went an hour and a half on this. God.
And about 20 minutes of that was the actual game.
Yeah, well, that's the way we. When do we get to work again next time? We'll talk guitars and metal and movies, Julia Roberts movies. And
Next time I'll do Afterburner from my place, and we can have a jam off.
Sweet. I'll have to get. I
Start
haven't played in a while.
practicing.
My calluses. I've lost a bunch. Losing my calluses. Might have to. Get practicing here. Do you practice a fair bit?
More now. I stopped playing for several years, and now I'm like kind of just getting back into it. So I'm like I'm pretty junk at guitar, honestly. Now I can't do much more than rhythm, but bass I'm okay again. Nothing.
You know what though?
Nothing like what I used to be.
There's a lot of music. A lot of music is just let's bang out some cowboy chords and have at it.
Dude, the worst was actually like when the band wanted to play Autograph or AC/DC. AC/DC was the worst. They wanted to play Thunderstruck, and I'm like, great, I'll play a B for 10 minutes.
Yeah, Thunderstruck's harder than people's thing. I mean,
Well, like honestly, like if you're like strong enough on your fingers, you don't even need to like pluck the note. So I always had one hand free. Like I could be on my phone. I could have a drink. I could go
Yeah.
for a stroll.
Yeah. I like the idea of
fun.
having a drink. That's what we should do. Whatever we talk about, we should just have some drinks next time. That'd be all right.
There's a lot of barn burner blonde in here. I should have cracked into one today.
Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong. There's no excuse for you for sure. And they're cold. All right. Appreciate you everybody for watching. Flames lose 6-3 to the San Jose Sharks. I guess the next one's on against the Wingies on Saturday afternoon, right?
See you there.
See you, buddies.